Hey now, it's Mike Gilbert, host of the Mike and JD Show, right here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Join JD by God Oliva and myself every Thursday night live on the Voices of Wrestling YouTube channel at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we stay up all night discussing all the hottest stories in professional wrestling. You can also check us out right here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting feed, or you can subscribe to the Mike and JD Show feed. Now, enjoy the show.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Super J-Cast. I'm Joel, joined by Damon McDonald.
Hi.
It is Thursday, the 24th of April, 2024. This is episode 307, and we just become an Arsenal podcast.
Yeah.
A podcast is a time capsule for tracking Arsenal's brave but ultimately doomed to failure challenge for the Premier League. In-ring art says, glad to see Arsenal still fighting after losing to Villa and Bayern, giving City no margin for error. Did you see the result yesterday?
5-0, right? Against Chelsea. That was a big difference in the sense of in the history of the rivalry. Correct me if I'm wrong. This was the biggest goal differential between the two teams when they were head-to-head, right?
No, I mean, they've beaten us 6-0 once. That was, I don't know if you remember our old manager, Arsene Wenger, who was pretty famous.
No, the name.
On his 1,000th game in charge, we lost 6-0 to Chelsea in a match. I think this is the same match that was notable by the referee sending off the wrong player of ours. So one of our players, I think they handballed it off the goal line or something, and then the referee went up to a different one of our players who looked kind of the same, but not really the same, and just gave him a red card instead. And
racist.
Like, what's going on? Racist, yeah. It was racist. It absolutely was
really?
racist.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so it was nice to dish out a bit of a punishment for Chelsea, who I hate.
Why do you hate them? Can I ask you that? Why do you hate them?
They were bought out by Roman Abramovich and used his dirty oil blood money to buy their way into relevance.
Okay.
So they were on the brink of bankruptcy, I believe, until Abramovich came along.
Really?
And that just sort of opened the floodgates, really. For, I suppose I shouldn't be angry at them. I should just be angry at the the Football Association or whoever's in charge for allowing that to happen. But they're just a despicable club, horrible fans, and the current iteration of Chelsea is absolutely hilarious because they're run by this American, I think he's a hedge fund owner, Todd Boehly. I don't know if any American listeners are familiar with him. And he spent like over £1 billion just like buying a ton of players, including a player who was like on the verge of signing for Arsenal, and then he came along and just gazumped them with a larger offer. And apparently this player was in tears because they still really wanted to go to Arsenal, but were forced to go to Chelsea because they offered more money.
No, you couldn't say no.
And just spent the money appallingly. The manager doesn't know what he's doing, and they're just hilariously bad. Like, they're quite good at, they've got some fast players. They can kick the ball up the other end of the pitch, and the players can like run really fast and get the ball, but they can't do anything with it, and they can't defend either. So we just absolutely battered them. This is a bit of a deep cut, but it reminded me of the old arcade game Golden Axe, and during the bonus round, you just beat the crap out of these little gnomes, and they drop magic pots that you could collect. So that's what we're doing with our goal teams. It's just like beating the shit out of Chelsea to crank up our goal difference to give us a bit more going into the title challenge. So very, very fun. I'm happy. We're 4 points clear at the top of the table. City still have 2 games in hand, so if they win both of those, they'll still go above us. But as I've said, I just want to push them to the end. I don't want to run out of steam and like mathematically hand the title to them by us losing a game and be, Arsenal can no longer catch them and City have won the league by default.
Right.
Don't want that to happen. I'd like to just push it until, ideally the last weekend. Let's just make a fist of it, because you never know. All it would take, Damon, if City
fucks up
one match,
Yep.
they draw one match, not even lose, just draw. and then it's back in our hands. Now, we've got some really tough games coming up. We've got Spurs away on Sunday, which I'm shitting my pants over. We've got United away, kind of like, so there's, it's not a foregone conclusion. I think it would be a hell of an achievement if we win all our remaining games. But that's, as Mikel Arteta would say, that is the fogging standard, and it's exciting. So
yes,
I'm happy to be up there and in the race and in that conversation.
I think you should be. Like, you have to be there to make that happen, right? Excuse me. And as crazy as you might think it might be, at the end of the day, stranger things have happened in sport, right? So again, you're in a position. Look, you're doing everything you can, and when I say you, I'm saying Arsenal, are doing everything you can to be in a position to take it. So, yeah, I mean, I would feel like that's very exciting. And I did see that result. So back in the day, if you will, I think a lot of people in the States want to follow the sport, and they want to kind of hitch their wagon to a team. And a lot of times it's like weird circumstances that will somehow open the door to an American's fandom here for a club over there. And a lot of that, it's like, oh, this famous actor likes this team, so I'm going to like them because they're one of my favorites. Or this band, Oasis being very popular pick because of City. Blur, lead singer Damon Albarn, is a Chelsea fan. So there was a time in my life where I was like, all right, I think I'll support Chelsea. But that, it was meaningless because it was just like, oh, okay. I just couldn't get into it. So, yes. Can I ask you this? Can we rank clubs and fandom, being that you are so thrilled of Chelsea's demise? Who's a worse fan? Or who's a worse, pocket team, fan, whatever? Who's worse? Is, what the fuck's the name of their team? Boy, this whole bit is ruined because I can't remember the fucking Millwall. Okay. Is Millwall are Millwall fans worse than Chelsea fans? They have a terrible reputation.
Historically, yeah, Millwall fans have a reputation for their firm being quite violent and nasty. Mm. But I don't even know if that's still true these days. I mean, you don't hear much about it. I'm sure they are. Wouldn't want to cross them. But Chelsea fan, I mean, we're sort of talking. The Chelsea fan base has been split between those sorts of thuggish, racist fans, which is is absolutely a part of it. But they all seem to have been kind of priced out of actually attending the games, mm-hmm. and instead the people you got turning up at the stadiums are sort of annoying people who sort of turned up in the mid to late 2000s when Chelsea started getting good because they were spending all of Abramovich's money and were trying to ride the coattails of that and enjoy all that success. So I'd say there are two sides to their fan base, and both of them equally despicable for different reasons.
All right, that's fair. I appreciate the candor. I'll give you one more. Tottenham or Chelsea?
As much as I hate Spurs, obviously it's our North London rivals, I think, and Arsenal and Spurs fans would hate to admit it, there's kind of a mutual respect there. I think. I mean, I could be off base, and I'm sure Yap in our Discord is going to probably shit all over this. But yeah, I think there's a kind of unspoken mutual respect there. But I think both the Arsenal fan base and the Spurs fan base have got absolutely no respect for the Chelsea fan base. Okay. At least that's how I perceive it.
Fair. All right. What's worse? New Japan Pro Wrestling fans or Chelsea fans?
I thought you were going to say NJPW fans or AEW fans. Oh. So that's coming up later in the show.
Yeah.
New Japan fans or Chelsea fans. New Japan fans are more of a direct irritant to me because I have to interact with them and see and hear things that they've said. Not as much as I used to, but yeah, they sort of offend me on a more regular basis than Chelsea fans do.
Okay. They seem like a very similar audience in the sense of a lot of people who, parachuted in during a little bit of a golden time and are just kind of in it when it was great and are very easily swayed outside of it, right? Very, very.
Have those fans not all been run off? Are they not just AEW fans now?
No. I mean, at least in my circle, it feels like it was, okay, I can't watch this anymore. It doesn't do anything for me. And I'm going to go back to my fucking, Mid-Atlantic 1983 run or some shit like that. Like, there are tons of, no, I can't say tons, but there are a lot of people that, like, AEW does nothing for them. And truth be told, I'm probably in that mix. I could very easily watch AEW at any point, any Wednesday or it's Friday. Is it also? I just feel like I got 1,000 things better to do. And every time I think, okay, I'm going to invest my time, my spare time in watching it. I'm almost always left. Okay, that was a good match, but like I don't know if this is for me. And
all right, Ospreay Danielson.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Your thoughts.
We kind of, before we hopped on and hit record, we were talking a little bit about it, but like I thought the match was very good, but like I don't know if this is a reflection on the state of what pro wrestling is right now. I just thought like the match was very much like if they were going to sit pro wrestlers in a room and say, okay, what I want you to do is I don't want you to physically come up with a match. I don't want you to have a match here in this room, mind you. But what I would like you to do is I'd like you to kind of map out or write down or plan out what would be a great pro wrestling match. And I think that is what we saw. And that like an athletic, let me hit a move, let me hit a bigger move, let me hit the biggest move, let me hit the biggest move times infinity. And I just think that there is like a lot of connective tissue that is missing in that makes me a fan of pro wrestling. Like, I'm not necessarily...
Don't forget the arena full of yankoid imbeciles going, oh!
Right,
and doing
right.
really annoying chants throughout the whole thing,
right.
which I think is my biggest disconnect.
But that it doesn't help, right? It doesn't help me. Now, again, if live and in the moment, I think I might feel differently, right? Because you get whipped up into the fucking frenzy of that. But, like, if I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to take this match and I'm going to compare it to matches of, similar stature, I don't know if it holds up. And I was kind of surprised looking online and seeing people's reviews of this. Like I saw like the greatest U.S. match of all time. And I'm like it was a fucking physical spectacular, but so are the fucking NBA finals, and I don't think that's pro wrestling, right? And I hate to be that guy. Like, I hate to be the guy that's like, the old guy fucking, this isn't pro wrestling, this isn't, but like from a person who's watched a ton of pro wrestling over a long span of time, Did I think this was a tremendous physical accomplishment? Yes. Do I think this was like one of the greatest pro wrestling matches of all time? I don't know. Like, and then I start questioning me. Like, I start questioning, like, is this for me anymore? Like, is this like, are we like, am I the fucking old guy at Coachella yelling, how can you not be into Blur? You know what I mean? Like this is one of the greatest bands of all time. How can you fucking just stand there and stare? But kids and people younger than me don't give a fuck about Blur, and they don't give a fuck about. They want to see fucking, I don't know, who was Tyler, the Creator, or whatever. Like I don't know. Like I think that's the one thing, Joel, that kind of, I don't know, kind of frightens me in the sense of, as a person who's watched pro wrestling since, they were 7, has this passed me by? And I've never really felt that as much as I have after watching that match. Again, great physical, the fucking things that they were doing, but at the end of the day, I felt empty, and I felt,
yes.
Am I wrong? Good. I'm glad you're saying it. Go, please.
We're in the minority. Like, I'm sure everyone else is listening to this thinking these two fucking losers don't know what they're talking about. But I felt the same thing. Like, I can see why people loved it, and I could admire it from sort of a technical and a physical standpoint. But I just felt nothing watching it. And again, maybe this is just me, my sort of feeling of being a cut New Japan fan, seeing AEW get all the shiny toys. Maybe it's just my aversion to US wrestling and its presentation and the commentary and the crowds, which I just find repugnant. But yeah, I just watched it, and I can see why everyone loves it so much. But for me, there's just, I don't know, it just feels kind of soulless. Like, I guess maybe it's just because I'm lacking the emotional investment in it. Like, I felt more, I was like, during Yota Tsuji versus Goto in the New Japan Cup, I was on the edge of my seat, like living and dying by every near fall there. Maybe that's just because I was invested in the characters and the storylines, and that's the product that I follow and put my time into. But I got a lot more enjoyment out of that than I did in Ospreay Danielson, even though, if you were to ask the average wrestling fan, they're not comparable, but a lot of people would say. But yeah, I was exactly the same boat as you. I tried to watch a lot of the AEW show. I watched Okada versus Pac, and again, I can see why people like it, but yeah, maybe it's just us. Maybe we're just the two grumpy old farts yelling at clouds.
Yeah, like, excuse me, I'm still dealing with this cough a little bit, but it's like, I actually spent time thinking about this, and like, I guess the best analogy I could come up with for me personally is kind of like the idea of, you get an album, right? Back in the day, and you listen to that album, and obviously you a single is released first, and that kind of grabs you, and then the whole album kind of brings you in, and you listen to it. And I'm not saying you necessarily listen to it entirely every time front to back, but it's kind of like the difference between getting that album and waiting out, outside of Tower or HMV or whatever, and getting it and smelling the fucking plastic of the CD and the whole thing around it, and where we are today with music, where it's, okay, here's a single that dropped, and you quickly inhale it, and it's gone in 30 seconds, right? And you're on to the next one. And that's where I kind of feel like pro wrestling is these individual dream matches, and I put in quotes, without really the thing that makes pro wrestling great. And that's the build and the anticipation and the how did we get here? Like, and that's weird saying, in the sense of, because it felt like in the 80s and the 90s, you were forced fed that, and you were dying for the in-ring to be as equal as what led you to there. And I don't know if there's any resemblance of that now, where it's literally greatness, 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 but it's all in this bubble. And I don't know where all the other stuff went. It's instant gratification. It's whatever it is. The ease and the the ability to see a match and take that match at a moment's notice. Whereas, I don't know, maybe before it was like there was a build and a feeling of anticipation and angles and stuff that kind of made you want the match more. Whereas now it's like, okay, here's on paper, this sounds like a great match, and away we go. And trust me, New Japan...
Yeah, it's instant gratification. It's wrestling for the TikTok generation.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say that, but yes. And once again, it does sound like two guys fucking, back in my day. And I do my damnedest to not be that, but like more than ever, that's what I felt. And I'll go so far as to say, to me, that's one of the biggest problems with New Japan right now, where there doesn't feel that sense of that, where we're just kind of hopping from show to show, and we're hoping that the big thing happens that continues on to the next show. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't feel that anymore. And again, that's the state of pro wrestling. That's what it is. And if that is what it is, then again, I question, is this for me?
Yeah, I can't argue.
But the match was great, right?
It was, yeah. And again, I totally get why everyone loves it. I'm not going to sit here and call it a bad match or anything. It wasn't, but it's not what I look for. I don't know. Maybe if they'd run the same match under the New Japan banner at the Tokyo Dome while Will Ospreay was a full-time New Japan guy, I'd probably be sitting here saying, it was the greatest thing ever. Mm-hmm. But maybe I'm just a massive hypocrite. I don't know. All I can tell you is I sat there and I watched it and I thought, I just feel I'm the gif of Russell Crowe in Les Mis peering through the window. Everyone else is having a nice time.
And everybody is having a good time. But that's what, like, when you buy a ticket, you're not going anymore to see, I want to see the guy that I've seen on TV for weeks get what's due to him by the other guy that I've been seeing on TV for weeks. Like, the business has completely changed. The way that success is evaluated has completely changed. But again, like, some of the dumbest enjoyment that I get out of pro wrestling, like a perfect example. Like this week, I was just kind of just digging into the external hard drives, now I'm watching some random fucking Mid-South show. and the entire show was just like a synopsis of angles that led up to where they were right now. And I hate to say it, I enjoyed it more than just about anything I've seen in the past 6 months. And this is 1983. And it was just, Bill Watts and Jim Cornette and talking about the Midnights and Mr. Wrestling 2 and Magnum TA and the whole angle, the tar and, the whatever it was, molasses and feathers or whatever the fuck. And the idea of Magnum being this understudy to Mr. Wrestling 2, who's this grouchy, grumpy old guy like us. If you listen to me, we'll make it, and you listen to me, and now we're the tag champs, and now you're not listening to me. Well, fuck you. And at the same time, the involvement of Bill Watts, who's this, big cowboy everyman who's going to take care of the boy. They love throwing around. What was the word they use all the time? Like prissy, or I forget the exact thing, but like cornet, he's effeminate, it was a different time, mind you, but I don't know. It was just like, okay, like I'm like, here's really the realization to me that as much as the stuff that I thought I didn't like of pro wrestling, and, you get tapes in the 90s of New Japan and All Japan and all that stuff, and you're like, wow, this is fucking fantastic pro wrestling. Like, at the end of the day, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is that all that that I thought was nonsense leading up to the big match, which should be great, is really the most important part of pro wrestling. And maybe that was a big wake-up call for me. I don't know. Like, I feel like we're, again, we talk about music, and we talk about movies, and we talk about just entertainment and media in general. And I just think that quick hit, that quick buzz, that instant gratification, that all of that,
dopamine hits,
the dopamine hits, like, that's where we are. And the wrestlers know it. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to deliver what the fans want, and God bless them, they should. I don't know. Is that for me? I guess, again, that it comes down to is that for me? And the problem is, Joel, is that, like, at least in my circle, and the people that I talk to and the people that communicate with me, they're all in that same boat of, I don't know if this is for me. It's not like there's another product where, well, I'm going to go follow them. Like, it's a general thing in all of pro wrestling where it's like, and I hate to say it, but, like, a lot of people are like, not for nothing, the best stories are from the fucking promotion that, we actively and passionately tried to hate and wanted to hate and wanted to turn away from, because that was nonsense. All the goofiness and the shittiness that WWE would produce, like, you're just like, okay, I just need an alternative. And you had an alternative. There's no alternative anymore. It's all the same. It's all white bread. It's all, like, it all tastes the same. It's all cafeteria food. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, is there a big difference between what New Japan produces and AEW produces, and even at a top level, what WWE produces? Like, I don't see it. And if I'm wrong, let me know. But, like, it feels like just different variations of the same fucking flavor.
I still find that there's enough difference in, and again, maybe this is just my sort of subconscious tribalism, but for me, still nothing hits like New Japan when they're on form. But unfortunately, that's becoming less and less frequent. But, I stick around because I keep chasing that high, and even with the limited resources that they have at their disposal now, it still scratches that itch for me more than any other process. And I've tried, like, I do it in good faith. If I hear people raving about a match, I'll give it a go. I don't want to not enjoy things as much as everyone else does, but I don't know what it is. I just think it's the emotional investment for me, that the stuff I have enjoyed the most have been those long-term storylines where I've been waiting, like, sometimes literal years for a particular outcome. maybe sort of baked into me as an Arsenal fan. And I'm sure there's other, teams fans who's like scoffing at that, thinking I'm spoiled, and maybe I am. But having waited 20 years since Arsenal last won a Premier League, maybe that I just enjoy suffering, and I like waiting a very, very long time for the things I want to happen in a sporting story. Like, it's going to be very tough to top the Wrestle Kingdom 14, that Naito moment, because we waited however many years it was for that.
That was 5 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that was we've been waiting 5 years. And so we take all of that, what we talked about, and we're begging this promotion to give us what brought us to the dance, and it feels like we get it in little tiny tastes, but it feels like they're so hell bent on, especially when they promote their product in the States, like they try to be what everything else is. And to me, there's not much difference in not only the way that it wants to be presented, but like the opportunities to kind of separate themselves from the pack. We've been waiting 5 fucking years since that moment that you described. Like that's like in dog years, like 20 years, right? It's, I guess to me, the frustration falls, Joel, where they could have spent those 5 years making themselves an absolute alternative to everything else that is presented to us as a pro wrestling product. And they don't. In fact, it feels like they lean into, well, this is what the world is, and that's what we're going to give them. And, back in the day when everyone rebelled against that type of thing, and you got tapes and you shared that fandom of New Japan and even All Japan and other Japanese wrestling promotions, was because it was a definite difference. There was a definite option. There was a definitive. I mean, not for nothing. That's why ECW had its moment in the sun, because it did a great job of presenting itself as an alternative to what was shown every Saturday morning and every Saturday afternoon. And you got to see those wrestlers that you heard about or read about or you saw tapes of perform in the States, and also have pretty decent storylines that were, I don't know, more geared toward what people were craving. And I feel like there's this huge gap in what people really are craving as pro wrestling fans and what is presented as pro wrestling today. And again, it goes back to my original point. People aren't like pro wrestling fans and they're just kind of had it with New Japan and they're looking for this other. They're tapping out completely. Like they're just done with pro wrestling, because where do you go? Where do you turn? What are you watching that gives you what you need in pro wrestling? And now it's, again, I've said it before, it's about, reactions. It's about, can I make a silly face to something that is really not that shocking, but I'm going to pretend it's shocking so that I can get looks and likes and heart emojis based off of my, YouTube, whatever it's called, the image in my shocked look face. Like honestly, the worst thing that's ever happened to pro wrestling is that one dude when The Undertaker lost and the WWE zoomed in on that dude and his shocked face, because now everything that's even they're not even. It's not even shocking, but like even they're trying to present it as shocking. Oh, I gotta put my hands against my mouth and clutch my pearls, and I can't believe that happened to Cody Rhodes. Oh, I can't believe the Usos are fighting each other. Oh, you know what I mean? Like it's just like who gives a fuck? Boy, are we two old fucking men? We're like the two fucking old men in the Muppets.
So many listeners right now.
We're like sitting in the balcony. Hey, these fucking Muppets are shit. That's what we are right now. That's what we are.
Right, so this is a New Japan Pro Wrestling podcast. So let's get into the news of our favourite promotion, JPW.
All right.
All right, let's do a question. Andrew says, with Dick Togo training Ray Lil Black, would you be interested in seeing her as the first female member of the House of Torture and a future IWGP Women's Champion? I would do if she unblocks us, but I don't. She's still. I don't know what I did wrong. Yeah, because someone tweeted something about her doing something New Japan adjacent, and then I did a quote tweet saying, "Oh, this is brand synergy made in heaven. Let's get her on the J-Cast." And then she blocked us.
Wow,
obviously not up to that at all.
Can I be honest with you? I have no idea who she is.
Yeah,
I have no idea who she is.
She's a porn actress. She makes
she blocked us. Huh?
Adult videos.
Can you give me the name again? I'm sorry. Who is it?
Ray Lil Black. So that's RAE.
All right.
LIL.
Go ahead.
And then Black.
Black. All right. Let's see. See what we got going on here. As I gotta be honest with you. She's fine. I mean, she's I'm not judging, but why would she block us of all people?
You would block us,
right?
My great tweets. I'm the best person on Twitter.
You really are. You really are. That's weird. Okay. Well, whatever. Keep sucking your dick.
There's a follow-up question from Asper. He says, which porn star after Raylo Black would you like to see train as a wrestler? So have you got any... I'm going to add on another question that you'd put into a New Japan faction right now, because you love those faction questions. So.
Oh, I do. They're so great. I think my tastes in pornography tend to lean toward MILFs, right? So that's kind of like my...
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that.
Right. I just find them to...
It wasn't always the case. Maybe it's as I get older, that's what
I
find myself more attracted to.
Me too. And sometimes...
Which is reassuring, because if it wasn't, then I'd be a Brit rest, wouldn't I? So there you go.
Oh, terrible. So... See, I'm terrible with names. I just know who they are, so, like, I like... Who do I like? I got to go to a porn site to just, like, and search by name. So, bear with me here.
So do I. So if the spouse is walking, we have to say, no, this is purely podcast.
Right. This is research.
Why are you looking up porn whilst talking to Damon? What is going on? Are you even recording anything?
No, we're just, nothing's really going on. Can I ask you this? PER. What is your porn site of choice? Because I found a new one.
X3 HD.
Okay. I'm familiar with that. Mine is Pervzilla.
Okay, I'll have to check that one out.
So they have like complete movies, and they also have scenes that are very nice. Pervzilla. Look that one up. And not everyone looked that up because I want it to remain ad free. All right, let's see.
Oh, you're going on Music Damon on us. You don't want it to go mainstream.
Right, exactly. Right. All right, let's see what we got here. So like I'm into like, I'll tell you what. There's one, and she's kind of plain, but there's something about her that I'm like, oh. All right, here we go. We're getting deep into the fucking weeds now.
Right, let me just say we got 38 minutes on the clock. So
right. Not a peep about fucking John Moxley. There's something about a young lady who, like, how do I describe it? Like the way that they suck a cock, like makes all the fucking difference, right? The enthusiasm and the fact that they like their lips are like it's not like, you know, you stick your finger down your throat and it's like you're not really making contact with the dick. You know what I mean? And here's the thing too. I'm not a big fan of I'm going to shove my dick down your throat and it's just like, you know what I mean? Like I like
a piece.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, like I'm impressed by it. It's like Ospreay and Danielson. You know, I'm impressed by the physical feat of it, but like, there's no emotion behind it. Like, I like a little bit of fucking gusto.
Yeah, you want them to sensuality. And
yes,
making love to it with the lips rather than just.
Thank you. There's a young lady named Sadie Summers, Sadie. And usually I like brunettes. I'm a big fan of the brunette. But this chick can fucking go when it comes to a cock in her mouth. And really, I'm very, like, not fascinated. I don't think fascinated is the word, but like that's kind of like, I dig the enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is fantastic. Like that, to me, that makes the deal. What's her name? Let me see if I can find these young lady. And she's usually like the mom in the, you know, in the oops. What's her name? Is it Angela White? I like Angela White. She's got a lot of curve to her. I kind of dig her. What's the other one's name? She does a lot of the milfy stuff. I don't know. It'll come to me. But yeah, that's my wheelhouse. And all right, let me ask you this: if you had a choice between none and a decent amount, not just like one, but a decent. Oh, you know who I really like? There's this chick. Her name is Freya Von Doom. Freya Von Doom. There's something about this.
Good wrestling name.
Yeah, I know. I dig her. She's very tiny, brunette, but she's got that nasty streak in her. Like she's a big dirty talker. I like that. I like the dirty talk. Like that again. That shows gusto, and it shows. There's a young lady by the name of Misty Meaner that I really like. There's a young lady by the name of Katie Cush. These names are fucking the best. I like. There's one scene that I don't know why, but it really I love it, and this is kind of like my go-to one, where it's like all these MILFs, like probably like 6 or 7 of them, right? And they go to Vegas, and it's like a divorce party, and then they get in a hotel room. And, you know, the wild girl says, "Oh, I got 2 strippers." And this, you know, strippers come and then they wind up 2 guys bang 7 girls. But that, like, to me, that's super hot. I don't know why. There's something about all of those girls that are in that. Would you take no tattoos at all or a girl who has like a sleeve, tattoos? What is your personal preference?
God, I don't know. They're not really a deal breaker for me.
No.
No.
Sometimes
I'm ambivalent.
Sometimes I like a bit, but then there's others where it's just like they're just covered in fucking tattoos, and I'm just like, oh my god, wow, you really weren't loved when you were a child. Like, you know, you're just a fucking mess. But there's something about that as well. So again, MILF, I love. I know we're not talking about wrestling. My apologies, but this is where we are.
Yeah, I'm not going to push you on drafting each of these women into a New Japan faction. I thought we'll just let you run.
Just let me run. I appreciate it.
Nice to hear you talking about stuff that you enjoy.
I do. Thank you. You know what? If I were to recruit a porn star into a pro wrestling faction, you know what? One skill that they would need to do, and it would be like Muda's Mist, would be squirting. right? Like I would want like somebody to be like, blind from your fucking squirt, right? And then they're just stumbling around the ring.
Would there be different colours that have different effects?
Yes. I'm a big fan of the squirt. I got to be honest with you.
Oh, that's the red squirt. That's the one that burns.
right. Oh, that only brings out every once in a while. I like to squirt. I don't know why. And here's the thing: I like to squirt with another female. Like to me, when another female takes that squirt, like to me, I don't think there's much hotter. Like, and I'll go so far as to say this: I can't believe this is where we are, but here we are. I get actively like the boner goes away when it's like they cut to the guy that's performing cunnilingus. Like I don't want to see a guy eating a pussy. I don't want to see it. It's gross to me. I fucking hate it. And I'll go so far.
You don't want to see their beardy chin.
No, right. No, I don't. I want to see a delicate young lady dining. And again, the squirt thing as well. It does nothing for me if it's a guy. Nothing. Zilcho. As a matter of fact, it's negative. But like a fucking girl who's taking care of business down there, like as they should. And then
showing us how it's done because we don't know what the fuck we're doing down there. We try our best.
We try our best. Yes, we do. And sometimes we hit the fucking, we're doing a victory lap around, the Olympic track because
as we say, a blind squirrel eventually finds a nut. Doesn't it?
Exactly. But like, I'll go so far as to say this. I don't think there's anything hotter than a woman who can really fucking find her way around another person's vagina. Like there is nothing better. And so I have another recruit. Are you familiar with what's her name? Is it Ariana Chaychek? Do you know who I'm talking about when I say that?
No.
Okay. This one she is talk about gusto. Like at one, she's a squirter. 2, she loves the anal. 3, she apparently cannot. She has this insatiableness when it comes to the cock. She just loves dick. Just loves it. Like a kid in Christmas. Can't get enough. And like that's my look. Like that's my wheelhouse. Is it Ariana Chaychek or something like that? I'm sure if you Googled it, you would see it. But like she is the Doki of porn. that's like the best way I could describe it. Like she's not the hottest one, but like the energies that she brings and the fucking randomness and the danger element, like you don't know what she's going to put in her ass. You know what I mean? Like
there's been so many great little quotable moments in the last 20 minutes of audio.
But you know what I mean?
It's been mostly you talking.
I'm sorry. It's just like I am passionate.
No, don't apologize. This is gold.
Okay, but that's to me. That's like there's nothing. And here's the thing too. Again, as we talk about, like you know how like the modern porn actresses. Like they do like the cute little, I'm going to cross my eyes because the cock is so big. You know what I mean? Like I don't want that. I don't need all that. I want enthusiasm. I want like, if you're acting, then act enthusiastic. That's what I really want. I don't want like these, I don't know, like, and here's the thing too. I don't know why. Like, I understand that drug use is rampant in the pornography industry. I get it. I understand. I can't blame them. But like, if I know that you're incredibly high, that doesn't do anything for me. You know what I mean? Like if I can smell the weed through my computer, like I don't know. I kind of like feel like, again, I know you're acting, but like I don't know. It takes me out of it. Like I want enthusiasm, but I want a clear head enthusiasm. Does that make any sense? Okay.
Yeah, you could invent a whole new subcategory of porn, straight edging.
Yes. I'll tell you what, know who else I like? I like the site, I guess the content creator of Swallowed. I like Swallowed a lot. I can say with confidence that that production group of Swallowed, that's my kind of thing. Because here's the thing: it's a lot of blowjobs, a lot of that, and it's messy, a little messy, right? They're enthusiastic, and I got to be honest with you. There's one thing that I kind of dig, like a girl who will eat a guy's ass is. Like that to me is the ultimate. Like you know what I mean? Because a guy's ass is completely different than that of a girl's ass. Like you don't know what you're fucking walking into. That's a landmine, right? But a girl who's enthusiastic and is willing to do that, again, I would assume showers are involved. But even so, it's a different thing. It's a completely different animal. And if they're willing to do that, enthusiastic, like not just like, they're like they got a gun to their fucking head and they're just like, the tip of their tongue. No, I mean they're full blown into it. That's great. And Swallow does a lot of that. All right, so what about John Moxley, Joel?
Yeah, so New Japan have fully acquired the Bushiroad fight, so that's an interesting development. I mean, I don't know if this is just a sort of corporate restructuring in the post Rossi Ogawa phase of the company, but I don't know. Maybe this is just sort of a benign thing of sort of tidying up at a corporate level, or maybe New Japan is being repackaged to be sold to Tony Khan.
I'll tell you what. I'm not going to lie. That is a situation where I don't necessarily see a flame, but I smell a lot of smoke, and like. To me, it does feel incredibly. I can't name anyone else on planet Earth that would jump at the opportunity of buying New Japan Pro Wrestling more than Tony Khan, right? Obviously, he has the resources to do so, but to me, that's his wet dream. Like, as much as I would love to purchase the assets of Swallowed, Tony Khan would love to have New Japan Pro Wrestling in his portfolio. I don't think anybody would doubt that. Now, is that to say that he is actively pursuing that? Well, who knows? He does have to take a flight to Japan probably, and that might be an issue. We don't want him to get ill. It's, I don't know. I feel like that is a definite possibility. And I'm going to put it out there. I think, like, if you gave me any scenario that is likely to happen when it comes to the future of New Japan Pro Wrestling, that would be my least surprised, right? You're not going to get shocked emoji face from me if that does happen. And here's the thing, too. I think I find it hard to believe that Rosie was that influential in making his departure be like that. It was the catalyst to do something like this. I don't know. Look, I know we live in an age where we love to give our conspiracy theories and all that stuff, but like. It feels like the fruit is very ripe on the vine for the taking. And here's the thing too. I don't know. I don't know. Like if that did happen, I don't know where I would stand. Like I don't know what I would feel at that point. On the one hand, I know that the person who bought the company and who owns the company is truly a pro wrestling fan, and that's comforting to know. That doesn't necessarily mean that they can run a pro wrestling company, especially in Japan. Doesn't mean shit. It means that you have a lot of money and capital to do so, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have the wherewithal to be able to do that. That being said, do I welcome that change? I think that would be the final nail in my coffin. To be honest, I really do. I feel like if that were to happen, Joel, I think I would be done. I don't know how you feel.
I don't know. Just the company just seems like such a mess at the moment. Would it necessarily be worse than what we're doing right now? I don't know. I'd give it the benefit of the doubt. I don't think I would automatically peace out on principle. I'd give it a shot, but
I would love to.
it does feel.
But
I do feel that Bushiroad selling New Japan might be a good thing, just given everything I hear about Kidani and everything you see about sort of the contrary nature of the way the company is booked, where it seems they're just at odds with themselves,
right.
with guys getting belted and then never defending it, and the championships being introduced and phased out and ignored. It's just something's not right there, and I feel some sort of ownership, clarification of responsibility and power would be beneficial. Ideally, that would be sorted out internally and not have to be done through the conduit of the cokehead, but any point in a storm.
Yeah. I hear you. And I agree with you 1,000%. Again, everything that we hear, and trust me, we hear stuff, Joel, would you say daily basis? Like maybe every other day, of just like a company that doesn't know what anybody else is doing. And you have all these different divisions within the company that literally don't know what the next one's doing. And you're left to question, like, do they have any idea what they're doing? Like, are they just surviving just because, just by happenstance? They're just, I hate to use the term, but in a lot of cases, like the stuff that we hear and are told and we read, like just incompetent boobs. Would that kind of clean up the shop? We always talk about the sloppy shop. Would that clean that up a bit? I want to believe that it would, but like I don't know if AEW's that tight knit shop that we think would happen. I tend to agree with you though. It's at least listen, if it's not going to be for me and it's going to be this hunk of shit, at least it's this hunk of shit moving in the one direction. Whereas now I just don't know if current leadership is the best way to go. Like if we continued with this current regime, I don't know where we would be. It does leave me questioning, can this company survive with this current regime? I don't know. Fingers crossed. Do I want Tony Khan to own the company? No, I don't. But in the same breath, like maybe this is what we need. Every time I think that there's a moment where there's synergy between like something as simple as like what's going on in the States and what's going on in Japan, it just gets like 2 weeks later, I'm just like left questioning: do these people even know that the others exist? So maybe. And again, let's be very clear: the reorganization and shuffling of management doesn't necessarily mean that it's being packaged to be sold. But let's put it this way: in my experience of being on this earth for so long and going through many corporate takeovers and corporate mergings and all that, it does look. I've been on this earth for quite a few years. Like, it does feel like it. It does. I'm not gonna lie. It does feel like it. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I think there's a part of me that's like, "Yep, I welcome it," and then there's a big part of me that's like, "Ooh, boy, this is the beginning of the end for me and my love of New Japan Pro Wrestling."
So I suppose that would bring us on to the hot topic of this week, which is the appalling use of New Japan title holders on American television. And that is, of course, Nick Nemeth losing to Moose on TNA, which is outrageous. I'm putting my foot through the laptop and sending Hiroshi Tanahashi the bill. So how could they do this? I'm just outraged. But of course, I'm in all seriousness, I'm talking about John Moxley defending the IWGP World Championship against who is it? Powerhouse Hobbs on Dynamite. Thoughts? Do you care? Because my initial reaction was I just rolled my eyes and was like, okay, of course they're doing that. But then the deep depression and malaise comes with knowing that I'm probably expected to have a take on it, and whatever take I give is going to send one side of the fan base into an absolute fucking meltdown with pants being shat and massive tantrums. And the response of both fan bases, quite frankly,
appalling,
is way more objectionable than anything that AEW could possibly do with this title, to be quite honest. So I don't really care that much about it being defended on Dynamite. This new IWGP title, to me, hasn't been around long enough and hasn't had enough happen with it for me to think it's some kind of sacrosanct thing that can't be defended. If I were in charge, would I have it booked against a guy with no New Japan connection on 5 days' notice? No, I wouldn't. But I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I don't really care that much. And the fans who are on either side of the mention saying, oh, this is terrible, or oh, this makes perfect sense, you idiot. New Japan's trash anyway, blah, 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 are way worse than the booking at the moment.
Yeah, no doubt. Look, I think the idea, and this goes back to, as much nonsense as we talked about for an hour, there is a little undercurrent of a thread of, okay, this is not what we signed up for, in the sense of we loved the thing that made New Japan Pro Wrestling so special was the idea of that title, the heavyweight championship, whether it's the new iteration of the fucking world title or whatever, you get my point. The big boy belt was special, right? There were only a few people that you would even consider being a champion, let alone having a match and getting a shot at the title. Those days are gone. And they've been gone for a long, long time, right? I think people are holding on to this nostalgic view of what that title and what New Japan Pro Wrestling was and what it is now. And I think, and I could be dead wrong, but I'm going to throw this out here anyway. Being wrong has never stopped me. I think a lot of the complaints come from people who don't even watch the product anymore. Like, they're just holding on to that idea of, well, that title is for the upper echelon of, the promotion and pro wrestling as a whole, right? Like Yano would never challenge for that title, and fucking, whatever. And those days are gone. It's a title defense for Moxley that on U.S. television, that he's definitely winning. I mean, I don't think anybody's thinking that the title is going to get switched. It's the idea.
And off is scrambling to get the Powerhouse Hobbs visa sorted.
Well, I can't. I wouldn't hold my breath for that one. That's for sure. With the incompetent boobs that are getting those visas, jeez, God Almighty. It's, again, they're holding on to this feeling of, this rare air that the title holders and the challengers are in, and that's just not the case anymore. That being said, it was weird in the sense that, okay, he's going to defend this title against who? Right? Okay.
That's it. I don't buy the line of argument that, this is giving exposure to the IWGP World title. Who is sitting down watching John Moxley versus Powerhouse Hobbs and thinking, wow, that was great. I am going to slap down my 999 yen for NJPW World right now. I want more of this. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Anybody who thinks that the idea that they're tuning in, they see this title being defended, and I'm going to go run and fucking sign up for New Japan World. Like, you had many years to do that, and that ship has definitely fucking sailed. That being said, it's like it's a meaningless defense for Mox, right, on TV. That will, obviously he's winning, and all that's going to do is just kind of, I don't know, give him a win, right? An easy TV, bunch of eyeballs win.
I like to think he's gone rogue and is just going to try and rack up multiple defenses to break all records against like absolute cans in all sorts of AEW programming. And by the time it comes around to Dontaku, it'll be like, here's John Moxley's 43rd defense for the IWGP World Title.
I mean, look, worse things have happened. I like the idea that everyone, and here's the thing too, again, a lot of people didn't know that it was really kind of fully explained of why this is even happening. Like, Don Callis did his fucking spiel about, how he's cashing in a favor.
It's not a New Japan storyline, so nobody cares.
Well, right. But that's a problem with where we are with New Japan that I was complaining about for years, is that now I got to watch 900 different shows to get the fucking storyline. And now it's come to pass that I got to do this for the fucking world title. You know what I mean? Like, I get where people are kind of like up in arms about that point. The match itself, who gives a shit? Like, it's like, what would be the difference between that and, like, I don't know, Flair defending on TBS against George South, or fucking, I don't know, I don't know, Hogan defending against whoever, just to set up an angle. Like, it's honestly, I mean, once again, I feel like the majority of the complaints are from people who don't watch and are stuck in 5 years ago, or B, like, I don't know, like, they're just kind of hanging on to some kind of weird thing where they're gatekeeping their own shit. And it's like, all right, well, whatever floats.
I'm not defending it. I think it's stupid, but I can't bring myself to get that upset about it, because of the the list of things to get annoyed about with New Japan, that's not on my top 5, let's put it that way. And look, if anyone's annoyed about it, be annoyed with New Japan for allowing it to happen.
Yeah. I mean, there is a part of me that's like, is this like Tony just doing his fucking shit? He's done it before where it's like, he's booking shit on TV and New Japan's like, what? They wake up and they check their phone after 14 text messages and be like, what's happening? And trust me, that's happened before. Hey, look, it's, again, one, how many people are really watching? How many people really care? And two, even if you were passionate about it, like, I don't know, like, I feel like you're barking up the wrong tree when it comes to this, because those days are long gone. Would I love to see it back to where it was? Of course. I think it's a major problem. But
and it is good to see all the New Japan wrestlers calling it out and speaking their truth about it. So
okay,
there's that.
All right, but even that being said, would you want to be the guy that has that meaningless challenge that is absolute? Like, if I'm a New Japan guy, I wouldn't want that fucking spot. You know what I mean? Like, everyone on planet Earth knows that you're losing. Like, you're not. This is a TV job. This is the equivalent of a fucking TV job. That's it.
But ironically, with a lot more eyeballs and discourse about it than it probably deserves.
Well, I mean, that's everything, right? That's everything. So, yeah, I mean, I take that with a grain of salt. But that's all this is. This is a TV championship match that it's the modern equivalent of a squash. I hate to say it, but that's exactly what the fuck this is. And if anybody who thinks anything different is delusional.
Right, we have a couple of bits of news from the junior division. Taguchi had a bicycle, I don't know if it was a bicycle or motorcycle, but some sort of two-wheeled vehicular incident and got banged up and is going to miss the Dontaku tour. So we hope he gets well soon. That's never nice to hear. And Kushida has been replaced.
Who?
He's going to replace Yo in Best of the Suit. I know, right? that Japanese guy who's teaming with Kevin Knight is going to be replacing Yo, which is a surprise to us because I had heard that the feeling was that Yo was going to be okay for Best of the Super Juniors, but alas, he's not. Is this a terrible downgrade for you? I don't know. It's not making me more excited about Best of the Super Juniors. Let's put it that way. I suppose the best I can hope for is that Kushida is put in Hiromu's block again and they do something interesting. Because I remember last time they were in the same block and they had like a wacky brawl that went outside the arena or something.
Yeah.
So that's about the best I can hope for because 2024 Kushida, I don't think anyone is expecting fireworks there.
No, I think we'll get middle of the road. They'll wind up somewhere 5 wins and 6 losses or something along those lines. I just find it kind of amazing. This isn't the first bicycle accident that we've had in New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's for sure. I mean, is everything okay over there, or do we need some training classes on how to properly operate a two-wheeled vehicle? And not for nothing. If you said, okay, take your pick. You got Taguchi, you got Kushida. Which one you take? I'm taking Kushida every fucking day of the week, right?
I think Kushida's Taguchi's just missing the Dontaku.
Oh, right. I'm sorry, you're right.
The Super Juniors. So this is Kushida replacing
Yo. Well, I'd rather have Yo, obviously. Yo's had a weird career, hasn't he? It seems like every time he gets heated up, something fucking gets in his way. Am I thinking of a different history on him? Because it feels like kind of, I don't know, injuries always seem to fucking fall on this guy's lap, doesn't it?
He must have been a terrible sinner in a past life. I think
it's all that poop things he does, doesn't it? Isn't he the poop guy?
He is. He's the poop guy.
Yeah, a lot of bacteria in poop. I'm just saying. Not that I would know, but yeah. I mean, look, I don't think ticket sales are going to drop considerably with Yo and Kushida. Yo and Taguchi on the shelf. But let's fingers crossed. Let's hope they're okay. Of course, I got to say that. I don't want to offend anyone.
No, I'm not going to. I'm glad that Taguchi got hurt.
Yeah?
I hate him. He's a wicked, evil man, and he deserved that.
Wow. I don't know if I go that far, but yeah. I mean, I'm not losing sleep. That's for sure.
All right, let's get on to the shows that happened this week. So there was a Road to Wrestling Dontaku at Monday, April 22nd at Korakuen Hall.
How many people?
Just the top 2 matches, I think. Oh, yeah, not a good number. So 800 and something for both nights, if I'm not mistaken. They're not showing it on the website.
Yeah.
Sneaky. Right, I'm going to look it up.
Okay.
Cage match. New Japan Pro Wrestling. Because this is also coupled with the fact that the Dominion Royal seats ballot has not sold out. So there's still Royal seats, which is not a good sign at all.
No.
I don't know how much of that and these numbers we want to attribute to Naito no longer being champion. I mean, Naito, of course, was on these shows, but perhaps Naito not having the belt, maybe the Naito fans were like, fuck this, and decided not to go. Well, I don't know, but let me try and get these numbers. But,
okay. I mean, but I think this kind of falls in line with what I was saying in the sense of, people who like this product 5 years ago are tapping out.
811 for Monday and 887 for Tuesday. And it's Tuesday, not like the Monday one I can kind of hand wave that, but the Tuesday one was
Singles
they're
matches.
stacked.
Yeah.
But, headlined by Hiromu versus David Finlay singles match. I mean, that should have done a better number than that.
You would think. There was no holiday that's during that time, if I'm not mistaken. There's nothing that would be like someone would...
Esther did try to trick me into thinking there was a holiday. She was insisting. She kept saying to me on Friday, "Oh, tomorrow's Rocket Ship Day, Daddy."
Oh.
And I was like, "Oh, what happens on Rocket Ship Day?" And she was just making all this stuff up. So I had to look it up if it was a real thing. But I think she just made up a thing called Rocket Ship Day. So I don't know if Rocket Ship Day had any impact on the attendances at these Road to Wrestling Dontaku.
Are you trying to tell me you didn't celebrate Rocket Ship Day? With a great feast.
Oh, I missed out on Rocket Ship Day, yeah.
and the exchanging of...
how do you like to celebrate Rocket Ship Day?
Right? By watching pornography. Yeah. That's pretty good. She's very creative now. She's very... Do you think she was pining for gifts? She wanted a little trip to the toy store? Is that what that was?
Every morning she wakes up, the first thing she says to me is, "Where are we going today, Daddy?"
Well,
and the first thing Arthur will say to me is what he wants for breakfast. He'll be like, "I want dippy egg," or "I want marshmallow cereal." So he's got his priorities, right?
Yeah.
The girl I'm side-eyeing.
What's his...
wanting to do stuff. What's going on?
I know. I don't want to leave the house. What's his go-to? What's his go-to breakfast?
He does love a dippy egg. A soft-boiled egg with like a nice soft yolk with some... toast,
nice.
Buttered toast cut into strips that you can dip into the yolk. He loves that.
Love it. That's that. You know what? Refined palates over there. I'm telling you. Refined palates. I'm disappointed at the crowd. I mean, we've had instances, even at the quote peak of modern New Japan Pro Wrestling, when they had like it was heavy focused on the junior tag league. Like we've had houses that have been a little shaky, right? And everyone was, up in arms, and this is the end of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And obviously we were just fine. But again, I feel like these shows are a little different. And consecutive. It's not like it was like one bad and okay, we bounced back the next night. There were a lot of orange seats. A lot of fucking orange seats. I mean, we'll see. And again, one of the more troubling things is, tickets get released, or at least, notifications are sent out to fan club members about on sale dates. And, those tickets are usually scooped up very quickly. Very quickly. And they haven't been. So, again... small things that if you separate them might not seem like a big fucking deal, right? But I think if you start adding all of them together, I'm not gonna lie, that raised an eyebrow for me. That had me concerned.
Save us, Tony.
Yeah, save us, Tony. Save us, Tony. And Tony, I'll tell you what. Speaking of Tony and AEW and all that stuff, can we? I just want to make mention of one thing that I am enjoying about pro wrestling, and you might laugh and scoff at me and call me rude names. I do like the Toni Storm gimmick, where she's like this fucking 1930s actress. You don't like it?
I've not watched any of it, to be fair. I've heard a lot of bad stuff about
really?
it. But, yeah.
It's goofy. I mean, mind you, but I don't know. I think she fucking leans into it. She did this promo about like, I forget somebody. It was rather recent. It was after a match, and she's like, "I want this shot in color to show the damage that." I don't know. I dig it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just me wanting to have coitus with a 30s film star.
Yeah, I think that's
it.
Tapped into a kink of yours that you may not have been aware of.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
I'm not sure it's got any like pro wrestling merit. I think this is just
it's just a kink,
a sex thing.
I think you might. You know what? You might be right. I think it does kind of fall suit. Very good. You know what? Good job by you. You nailed it. I want to. Yeah. I want to have sex with a flapper, someone who does the jitterbug. All right.
Right.
Continue.
Let's get back to this show then. The two notable matches. I thought the fourth match was really good. The LIJ versus War Dogs
Multi-man. Yeah.
10-man tag.
Yeah.
That was good. I enjoyed that. That had good energy to it. And I like the sort of the dynamics, the chemistry between those guys. And the main event, Faction Warfare Gauntlet, which I thought didn't work so well last time, but this time it was just 5 guys against United Empire. And I'm trying to remember the order they did it. So it was Yuya and Sanada first. No, because they're in the same faction. What am I talking about? Who was it first? It was Yuya and Great Khan, of course. What am I talking about? So Yuya and Great Khan first, and they did their mat wrestling stuff. I thought that was good. I enjoyed that. And then there was Sanada and Jeff Cobb, who had surprisingly great chemistry and made me think, pop them in the same G1 block. We'll have a good time there. Then what happened after that? There was it Taka Michinoku and... Fuck, help me out here. Who was it? Was it Callum Newman who was out next?
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Was it Francesco Akira? I don't know. But the bits between Doki and Akira were really good. And again, I think that is a singles match I would love to see in Best of the Super Juniors. Maybe even that could be like a block decider or something. I'll be into that. And it came down to TJP pinning Taichi, which made me sick in my mouth a little bit. Didn't like that at all, because the whole narrative afterwards was all the United Empire guys going, "Oh, okay, no, you've proved yourself as the captain of TJP. We've not got a leader, but you're the captain now, and you're also a legitimate open weight." And I'm sweating looking at these G1 spots that need to be filled, thinking, "Fuck, we could have get the Aswang in the Grade 1 climax."
Oh yes.
So yeah, there was that. I mean, he's a competent wrestler. I just, as I keep saying, I would prefer him to stay in his lane. I don't think there is a great deal of upside in him putting himself out there as this big open weight guy, like he thinks he's 2019 Will Ospreay or something, because he's not.
Well, I mean, he's been active in pushing for it. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, like if you need a moment to encapsulate exactly how we're feeling, that's kind of what we're talking about here, right? He's going to be in G1. Like I don't want to make you upset. I don't want you to have nightmares and lose sleep. That's happening, right? That's happening.
Well, I did a bit of not spreadsheet. I listed the guys who I think were going to most likely, or definitely to likely be out of last year's lineup. So Alex Coughlin, Eddie Kingston, Hikuleo, Kiyomiya, Okada, Tamatonga, and Will Ospreay. So that's 7 guys.
That's a lot.
That need to be replaced.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So Yuya Uemura, he's definitely in.
Yep.
Then maybe we're looking at Callum Newman, maybe Oleg Boltin. I don't know if we bring back Ruhei Oiwa. And then there's the guys from other promotions. Are we looking at Jake Lee, Nick Nemeth, Matt Riddle?
I don't think
Jack
Riddle's
Perry,
in.
I don't know, but TJP is on that list, isn't he? Because I can't. Yeah. It's a struggle coming up with 7 names that you would feel confident. Oh yeah, they can definitely fill those gaps. So you could very well be right. I mean, maybe this is all sort of laying the groundwork for that, because they're just desperate to get bodies in 32-man G1. I
mean, like, to his credit, I mean, he's been in the promotion for quite a while now. And, if I'm going to raise the flag of New Japan Pro Wrestling and say, okay, who deserves to be in G1? Like, he deserves to be in G1. Do I want to see?
What? No, he doesn't.
Oh, he does. Sure. Why doesn't he?
Okay, I suppose he's more deserving than a lot of other people.
Nick Nemeth?
Tangaloa.
Right. I mean, like again, if I'm saying, okay, I'm a New Japan Pro Wrestling guy, and these guys have blood, sweat. Look, we're we sat here and jerked off to his fucking junior tag run, right? Okay, he puts on some more fucking weight. He eats some chunko and fucking bulks up. I don't have any problem with him in it. I'm gonna say that in all honesty. What I guess what I am struggling with is the idea of him being a prominent factor in a faction, right? And if that's the direction that they want to go, and again, he's been pining for it forever. Like, I think it's a definite he's in. Like, if you need 7 spots to fill, he's one of those guys that definitely should be filling that gap. Again, if they're going where they're going, and even if not, 32 fucking people are going to be in this G1. I know nobody wants to hear that, but it's going to be more people in it than not, right? And the people that aren't in it are people that aren't full-time and can't make that commitment to taking a month and touring Japan, or B, people who are just fucking battered, bruised, and broken and have done G1 too many times and they're like, I don't want any fucking part of this in the hot summer sun. I just don't. He's in. I'll tell you what, I think he's in. I think the never 6-man title situation kind of solidified the fact that Oleg's in it. We got 7 fucking slots. And here's the problem too, Joel. Of those 7, we could probably rattle off at least 4 that are studs. And they're going to be hard to make up when it comes to night 7 in fucking Nagoya. Those fucking dreadful. What do we got to look forward to? Oh, at least there's this main event. Those people we leaned on heavily for that. Who's fucking carrying that fucking flag? Yikes. Again, there's a big difference between, okay, let's put 7 people in this fucking tournament that are studs, and we're scraping the bottom of the fucking barrel trying to find 7 people to fill those shoes.
I'll move on to the next night there, which was Tuesday, April 23rd. We started off with Ishimori, Chase Owens, and Kenta beating Shoma Kato, Yoshihashi, and Hiroki Goto. So it seems that Taiji Ishimori is in the midst of like a little push, heating him up in terms of the best of the Super Juniors. He got the submission, I think, over Shoma Kato with a bone lock. And likewise in the second match, where Kosei Fujita, Shane Hayes, Mike Nichols, Zack Sabre Jr. beat Katsuya Murashima, El Desperado, ELP, and Hikaru. So it was Fujita who got a submission win with the Boston Crab. So there was a lot of sort of facing off between Fujita and El Desperado. So again, that's one I'm kind of circling. I'd like to see them in facing off at some point in Best of the Super Juniors, either in the same block or in some sort of semi-final, or I don't know if Fujita is ready for a final, but I thought it was interesting that Ishimori and Fujita seem to be getting the rub from the undercard matches here. The third match was the Never Openweight 6-man tag championship match with Tanahashi, Yano, and Oleg Boltin getting the first defense against House of Torture, which I was a little bit surprised with, actually. I was kind of expecting them to just put it straight back on a House of Torture team. So Tanahashi got the pin over Yujiro, 12 minutes, 54 seconds, high five float. I don't know if you saw this, David, but it was the worst high five float I've ever seen. It was so depressing. Like, Tanahashi can barely move, Yujiro can barely move, and I was just watching this thinking, oh my God, it's made me feel really sad. Yep. Because I want this Never Overweight 6-man team to be good, just because I like Oleg Boltin and I want to see him doing stuff. And he does get a lot of shine in these matches with his, his gut wrench stuff and his, the kamikaze move that he does. But with like the sad clown Yano and old man Tanahashi hobbling around, I'm just like, I don't know if this is necessarily what I want Oleg to be doing right now.
I did see that, and yeah, you're right. It was really a wake up call to everyone that, oh boy, oh no. Like, look, we love in that Discord to, as quickly as as they can. They wanted to declare someone washed, or they're like but they have been saying that for quite a while about Tanahashi, and there's a large part of me that just want to put my fucking fingers in my ears and are like, la la la, boy oh boy, like whereas before he would leap off the top rope. And kind of compress his body, then full extension, and then splash. This was as if someone fell off the top rope and just kind of fell on top of somebody. It was not great. Let me ask you this. We talked about 32. Is Tanahashi in this fucking G1?
He will be. He shouldn't be. Like this is all these conversations. Just the biggest reason why we shouldn't have 32 and why we should go back to 20. We're not going to go back to 20 because that stable door has been opened and the horse has fled. But yeah, if and when Tanahashi is in the G1, it's going to be grim. I'm not looking forward to that at all.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to 500. Getting an even number of losses. And look, we always sit here and say, okay, when people get the tap on the shoulder, they can fucking go. Yikes! I don't know. I'm for the first time in that I can remember, I am truly, truly in doubt of him getting the tap on the shoulder and him going any length of time, other than just flopping around on the fucking mat. Can you imagine him in fucking G1? Oh my goodness gracious. And I can't believe I'm saying that about arguably, the greatest pro wrestler in our lifetime. Yeah. Look, here's the common denominator. Age and time fucking waits for no one. It's going to keep marching, and yeah, this is what it is. This is what it is, and yeah, the idea of 32 just kind of solidifies the fact that yep, he's in it, and again, I keep saying it. Night 7 in Nagoya, just fucking circle that. Oh, it's going to be brutal.
And then we moved on to the back half of the card, which was the series of singles matches between LIJ and Bullet Club. So the fourth match was Yota Tsuji beating Gedo in 5 seconds, which was really good because as soon as before the bell went, he he gene blasted Gedo almost out of his boots, and then called for the bell to rank and immediately pinned him. So that was great, brilliant booking there. So I enjoyed that a lot. Fifth match, Gabe Kidd beating Bushi 9 minutes 22 seconds. I know Bushi's been on a little bit of a run, but I would have liked Gabe to win a bit more decisively and a bit quicker because Bushi got the visual pin, didn't he? Because he misted Gabe and got the pin whilst the referee was out of action. Come on, we've got Gabe Kidd. He's challenging for the strong openweight title. He's challenging for the Never title.
He should bury Bushi.
He can pin. Come on, he should have just absolutely battered him.
Yep. Agreed, 1,000%, and that's exactly what my thoughts on after that match. Honestly, there would have been no harm in having a back-to-back fucking just he should just put him away in under 5. Seriously, he should have put him away soundly in under 5. There's no reason why not. Why? I mean, unless somebody was fucking late getting to the building, there's really no excuse why that went longer than it did.
Sixth match was Shingo Takagi defeating Clark Connors 10 minutes 54 seconds via Pumping Bomber. Was it via Pumping Bomber? Did he not do Last of the Dragon? I can't even remember now. I watched it a matter of hours ago. This was fine. I don't know, slightly underwhelmed by this. They only had 10 minutes. I suppose I shouldn't be too demanding of this one. But Clark has been very good this year. I think he's low-key having a really excellent year. And I think maybe with a bit more time, he could have done a bit more with Shingo because I feel stylistically that's the sort of opponent where we'd see the best of Clark Connors. But yeah, maybe they just didn't give them long enough to do that. And of course, the usual caveats of this being a heavyweight versus a junior apply to that, where maybe he's not able to look as competitive as you would hope. Although, I'll hold that thought for the next match we're going to talk about. But it's slightly underwhelming, this one. But not a bad match at all.
No, not bad. I think it was like, I don't want to sit here and say that they walked out and they saw the crowd and decide, you know what I mean? Like, they were like, what am I doing? What but maybe, who knows?
And then the 7th match was Drilla Moloney defeating Tetsuya Naito 10 minutes via Driller Killer. Now,
crazy,
I can't remember if I called this. I think I did because, well, first of all, I mean, they put the Jake Lee thing to one side, but Driller getting a pin, clean or not, I think that is something. And I've said Driller is a guy who they could flick the switch and make him heavyweight tomorrow, and he will be credible. And with the right booking, I think he has got a lot of upside. He's just got the look and the charisma and the aura and the skills, I think, to, if they put the right booking behind him, make him into a big deal. And yeah, I don't think you get a pinfall in a singles match over Naito or Korakuen Hall for nothing.
Right. I would hope, right? You would think. And if history is any indicator, you would kind of circle that and plant your flag and all that nonsense and kind of mark that as the beginning of great things, right? And deservedly so. Like wins, like what after that match, the one thing I kind of like fell back on was, I don't know if you remember that one New Year Dash, and I think it was Juice and it pinned, I'm going to say Hiroki Goto, maybe?
Yes, yeah.
Like that, to me, that was like a defining moment, right? I mean, you beat Naito. However you did it. It's going to go down as a win. I got to think that's significant, right? It's not like he pinned fucking, and no disrespect here, but it's not like he pinned Jeff Cobb. Like he pinned a guy. So, look, I just hope. I don't want to get my hopes up, right? I don't want to get my hopes up. But if history is any indicator, that we should all remember that, because the year, we're only 30% through the year. Like there you could weave some magic in there, and make him a guy very quickly. And I think that's a nice launching point.
Percentage chance Driller is in the G1.
I'd say better than 50.
Ooh.
Look,
I would say it seems inevitable he's going to be a heavyweight at some point, just because billing this man as a junior is preposterous, because he is absolutely jacked. Like, he looks incredible. And it feels like it's only a matter of time. So
you would think.
Do it. I mean, we need the guys. We need 7 guys. Come on, he can be one of our 7.
Once again, I mean, you're not beating fucking Doki. You're beating a guy. Like, to me, you would be absolutely brain dead if you decided to not take advantage of that. So, yeah, I think greater than 50% that he's in. I would hope, right? And you're right. Like, him being a junior is preposterous at this point. Like, just fucking do it.
Right, and of course the big angle here was that Finlay had been talking for a while about an assassin who'd got in touch with him who wanted a crack at Naito. So,
an assassin.
Jake Lee, I'm laughing already. Jake Lee, a man who makes Seiya Sanada look as charismatic as Hiroyuki Sanada, made his appearance here. Now, I will add the caveat, he was wearing his good-looking guys t-shirt, and he's still wrestling for No, so I do not think this is him signing with New Japan or anything. My understanding of it is this is the cross-promotional stuff. We're looking at All Together, we're looking at other, we've got 2 Noah guys in Best of Super Juniors. It's just part of that relationship, and I don't know, I don't want to say this was done under duress, but it would not stun me if this was like a Kidani thing, pushing, no, you've got to have Jake Lee on the card and get him in. Oh, for fuck's sake. But like, against his will, letting Jake Lee appear. But we have quite a few questions about this. Multiverse A says, what look do you want Jake to bring for his match with Naito? I'm hoping it's Mr. Peanut style with the monocle top hat that he's been recently. But seriously, I hope we at least get to see Jack Morris too, because Jake bores me. The Bevlers asked for Jake Lee NJPW Dream matches. Tim Drum Ghost is saying, oh man, David is going to lose his mind on Jake Lee. And David Bentley Fart says, who is Jake Lee? He looks like a man who sells DVDs out of his trunk.
Look, yeah, I mean, all of that is accurate. Look, I don't think anybody was expecting it. I don't think anybody was pining for it. I've said pining a lot today. And trust me, as it was happening, I just honestly, the thought I had was, of all the fucking guys they could have chose, of all the fucking people, it's the king of underperforming and overvalued stock and results being underwhelming. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joel, but that's been his that's been his wheelhouse of just when you think he's got it, he's nowhere near it, and the idea of him, as you called him, the assassin. Whew, I can't think of any. That would be like the big story on the news today was a person was murdered with a piece of toast. Right? Like, what? I am not. I think the best scenario is this. One, the idea of the cross promotional stuff, I think, is intriguing to people and even to myself. Don't get me wrong. The idea of someone who he doesn't even wrestle here still gives me a little bit of fucking juice. I dig it. I think like people who, well, I hate to say it, but like go back 5 years ago and you know all the possibilities people had in their minds about Jake Lee and who he could become and who he should be and all the fantasy booking and all. At the end of the day, the guy. Look, we loved to make fun of Yoshihashi back in the day, didn't we? We loved it. We loved the idea of just kicking this guy when he's down, and we loved to point the finger at the young lady, and so adorable. Her heart breaks for Yoshihashi, and even then we were just like, Yoshihashi, bag of socks, blah blah blah. Boy,
Yoshihashi absolutely laps Jake Lee in every department.
Yep. No fucking doubt about it. He is like the classic underachiever. I'm really hard pressed to think of a guy, Japanese pro wrestling wise, in the past 20 years. I'll throw out 20 years. I'll go 20 years of a guy who you would think has it all and delivered zilcho. Right. Once again, I just was left questioning of all the people who could have filled this role. Like, I truly believe, and I have nothing to back this up, but like he seems to me like plan F. You know, they had a plan A, B, C, D, and E, and none of them worked out. And they finally settled on Jake. Like, God, that's the only thing I can think of. And here's the thing, though, Joe. That being said, while he would not be my first choice, I did enjoy the angle. I did. And trust me, I was surprised seeing it. Like, I was surprised that he would be there and be involved in that angle. No doubt. Again, it's just of all the guys they could have chosen, they went that route. And yeah, and the world shrugged its shoulders.
And I think something that's kind of been lost in all of that was the main event of this show, which was David Finlay beating Hiromu 18 minutes and 1 second with overkill. It's a really good match.
Yeah.
And I think people are not really talking about David Finlay this year. And I understand why. And a lot of people sort of dug their heels in and are not going to change their minds. And I don't expect them to. But he's quietly, I think, having a pretty fucking good year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, he is the victim of one, a pretty sizable push, and not necessarily taking the ball and running with it. And
I mean, is he? Is he really? Can we unpick that? Because
yeah,
he won that title at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yep.
Was, to our understanding, not originally booked to win the cage match in Osaka, the dog pound match. And that was only changed because of the insistence of Will Ospreay. And then immediately lost the Global Heavyweight Championship or whatever it is to Nick Nemeth. And then, maybe he was supposed to do something in the New Japan Cup, but got sick, wasn't able to compete. So I'm not sure it's fair to say this guy's getting a mega push because the results don't back that up so far. Partly out of misfortune and, partly out of interference from the bloody white man running New Japan.
Yeah, but before that, though, before that time, it felt like he was just, he had this big angle and the fucking shillelagh and all this nonsense that just didn't stick. But again, that being said, this year, like if you're being objective and you're looking at it objectively, I'm in agreement with you. Do I think he's had a Will Ospreay / Okada / whatever, whoever had a great year, wrestler of the year type thing? No, I don't think he's in that conversation. Like, I don't think he's winning wrestler of the year at this point in time based off of this. But like, if we're being fair and being objective and being, honest with ourselves, he's had a solid year. Like, he's had a solid year. He's had a solid year. And at the same time, it felt like, I don't want to say he's been devalued, but, in big spots, he's not been like this dominant force that you would think, he would be, as and again, air quotes, leader of Bullet Club. But, behind the scenes and behind all of that, he's had a good year. And I think people, I hate to use the term sleeping on him, but I think he's had again, this year's kind of weird in the sense of like, who would be wrestler of the year? And I don't know if he's in that conversation. He's had a solid year. I'll give him that.
All right, let's move on to previewing Road to Wrestling Dontaku in the Hiroshima Sun Plaza Hall. That's this Saturday, April 27th. So it's not really much of note up until we get to the sixth match, which is the Strong Openweight Tag Championship. So El Fantasma and Hikuleo getting a rematch against the new champions, Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols. And I expect TMDK to retain here because given Hikuleo's contractual status, I don't think it would be sensible to put a belt back on him. But then again, this is New Japan Pro Wrestling, where the companies that guys actually wrestle for doesn't seem to have any bearing whatsoever in whether or not they win New Japan titles. But I think TMDK deserve to get a win here and should get the win and will get a win here.
This is a case of, I hope we're losing upward, right? If Hikuleo is bidding adieu, then fine. I'm okay with that. I don't think anyone's losing sleep. It's ELP. And I know people are groaning right now at the idea of me once again trying to rally the troops to get him to be in a prominent position, prominent role, a key cog in the wheel. I think it's time. Like, what are we waiting for? I'm counting the days until this tag team fucking dissolves and he's on to bigger and better things. Will that happen? Shoulder shrug. I don't know. But to me, there is value there, and I know that people are quick to fucking dismiss it. He's washed. He never had it and never will. Blah, 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 blah. He's undervalued. He's underappreciated. He can go. He can deliver. He hasn't been given the opportunity to do so. Let's give it a fucking real legitimate shot. So, yes, I hope that TMDK continue. I don't want to see Hikuleo and ELP together. I want ELP to move on. And that's a guy that I think really great things can happen. And here's the thing, too, to be very clear. And I think this is kind of like the biggest critique of Callum right now, Cal Noom. I don't want a Will Ospreay clone. I don't.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't want that. I want him to be his own dude. And I think it's there for the taking. I don't want a Will Ospreay clone. I want ELP to be his own person, and let's see let's legitimately give this guy a fucking opportunity, because I think it's there, and I might be on that island, Joel. I think it's there, and I think he. And again, I don't want to use the term deserves it, but like I feel like it's a real great opportunity for everyone. So can we fucking do it, please?
Yeah, I think I've been burnt on this. I feel that ship has sailed. Not to say that I don't think there is value there, but I feel there was a time to pull the trigger on that, and we've missed it. But we'll see. Seventh match anyway is the KOPW 2024 Provisional Championship with the holder Great Okan defending against the challenger Yuya Uemura, and the stipulation is going to be Great Okan's rural revitalization.
God damn it!
Match. Do you know what the stipulation is here?
I mean, what are we? No, I don't. But like, are we fucking tending to crops and eating fucking stuff? And what are we doing? What are we doing?
Right. Just the voting. So Okan's rural revitalization match got 60% of the vote.
Nobody voted. Nobody. Can I be very clear with that? There's no one that voted.
10,561 people voted.
No one voted. Okay.
It was 50-50 for the English vote, and on the Japanese vote, it was very heavily in favour of Great Okan. Yuya proposed a catch rules 2 out of 3 falls match, which I thought would have been quite cool. But anyway, Great Okan, his rural revitalization in Hiroshima bout will be contested in a 2 out of 3 rounds format. 1, Mazda tire carrying contest. Participants must carry 4 Mazda tires from the stage area to the ring. Fastest wins. Round 2, Hiroshima lemon eating contest. Whomever can eat an entire Hiroshima lemon fastest wins. And round 3, table match. Drive an opponent through a table to win.
I mean, seriously, what are we doing? I mean, does anybody really give a flying fuck? Lemon.
There was also another stipulation about something about you having to drive a Mazda forever if he loses.
That not far.
Yu is only allowed to drive Mazda cars for the rest of his life, and he must purchase 100 lemons if he loses.
I mean, seriously, does anybody what? Like, I don't know. Whatever. Whatever. Lemons. Eating lemons. That's where we are. We're doing a podcast talking about a match where a stipulation is who can eat the most lemons.
Why does Tony Khan keep doing this to us, Damon?
I'll tell you what. I had an anniversary dinner last weekend. We went to
happy anniversary.
Yeah, thank you very much. 25 years. We went to a rather nice steakhouse in the city of Philadelphia. And we split a dessert. It was a lemon, they called it lemon icebox cake or pie. It was very cold, mind you. It was the most lemony thing I've ever eaten in my life. It really was like we had a couple drinks. I will admit I had a cocktail or two. No problems whatsoever, but full disclosure, I had two cocktails. Feeling good in the neighborhood. Full meal, big porterhouse steak. 22-ounce porterhouse. Delicious. Cream spinach. The whole 9 yards. We had it all. And you kind of feel a little sleepy after a big meal like that. That dessert fucking was like doing a fucking bump. I swear to God, I was just like, bing, bang, boom. I'm like, all right. We have to work in the morning, but I'm ready to go out. It was delicious, but that's what it reminded me of. No one gives a fuck. I just thought I'd share that story.
That's great.
Thank you very much.
I like hearing about other people's meals.
Thank you.
That's good. Good content. And then the 8th match is who do we think is winning? Do we care?
Nope. Nope. I don't give a fuck.
Is you going to be driving around in a Mazda with 100 lemons the rest of his life?
Yes. Yeah. You know what? That's what I hope for. That
would be a great gimmick. New gimmick for him.
Throwing out lemons.
Call him Lemonhead Yu.
Yes.
He just comes out juggling lemons, dye his hair blonde, and he can be Lemon Man.
His favorite band? The Mighty Lemon Drops. Mighty Lemon Drops from Liverpool.
Have I shown you the picture of me dressed up like a lemon?
Mm-mm. Can you send that?
This with you. Yes, I can.
Do you have it at your disposal?
Yeah, so this was on Pancake Day. So I went to, not my school, but it was another school over the road from where we are, and took part in their Pancake Day race. So as part of that, we had to either dress up like a carton of milk, a bag of flour, eggs, or a lemon. So I obviously picked the lemon because who wouldn't want to dress up like a lemon? God, I'm trying to find it now. When was Pancake Day? You wouldn't know this, would you?
I have no fucking idea. Why don't you ask your daughter? I mean, she apparently knows all the days. Rocket Day, Pancake Day. Come on.
So Pancake Day would have been around February. I'm scrolling through my phone photos, and there's just loads of photos here taken by my kids of themselves and their books. You know when the kids grab your phone, you know what they're like.
I do.
Fuck, I can't find fucking lemon.
Just send me the most recent picture. That's what I want. I'll send you. I'll tell you what.
I tell you what. While I'm looking for this lemon picture, can you give me a full in-depth preview of the main event here, which is elimination match: Bushi, Hiromu, Yotsuji, Shingo, and Naito against Jake Lee, Drilla Moloney, Clark Connors, Gabe Kidd, and David Finlay.
I mean, on paper, that's not bad, you know. By the way, I sent you the most current picture in my.
That's good.
And what is it? Tell us what it is.
It is your Whirlpool washing machine.
Yeah, my dryer. Yeah. Because I had to get the heating element replaced. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, that's not... I mean, there's a lot of talent there, right? And one thing, as much as we've seen it and have, you know, it feels like, you know, it's the same. New Japan does the multi-man tag matches really well, and especially, you know, with these factions, and especially with this little angle that they have. No, I don't expect it to be anything but good, right?
We're thinking Jake Lee pins Naito here to set something up.
That makes sense. I would kind of put money on that. Yeah, I would go. Oh, here it is. Oh, Jesus Louise. All right, we have the. Oh, not only is Joel dressed as the lemon. By the way, very floppy. It's not like a full circle. It's like if you had a yellow sheet and put it over your head and then let it droop down with a little top. Yeah, but he has a pan with, if I'm not mistaken, a pancake, right?
Yeah, it's a fake plastic pancake. Sorry to
That's all right.
spoil the illusion. But yeah, that was part of the race.
What are the other people?
So on the left is flour
Oh.
and a bottle of milk, and then on the right is an egg.
Okay.
It doesn't look very eggy.
No,
does
it doesn't. It looks like I don't know what like a burlap sack. But one thing I did notice is you have the same pants that you wore at your friend's wedding, your old girlfriend's wedding.
Is that the same
I think
ones?
so, right?
No, they're not. No, I bought these ones fairly recently.
Oh.
Actually, maybe I just like that color.
Okay.
I wouldn't fit into those ones anymore.
No.
Christ.
And by the way, where is this picture taken? It looks like it's on a pitch of some kind.
Yeah, it was like a children's in a primary school sports pitch.
Okay. And then my last question would be, if you go all the way to the left, there is another human being that is in the picture, but looks like they're training it. Also has a pan. Also has a frying pan. Lots of frying pans here on Pancake Day. Yeah, this is a great picture. I like zooming in on certain things. For instance, the person that is dressed as the egg, I like looking at her little tattoo on her hand, the little ribbon. You see that?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. And then I also notice this, on your hand a tattoo of a cock. I was like, that's weird. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, my cock tattoo. That was after I lost that bet, remember?
Oh, yes, I do. I will say this, too, in noticing. So it's Joel, 3 females, all of them. Their nails are immaculate. Right? The one has the nice...
bizarre observation.
Yeah, they all have very nice nails. Very well done. Excellent job by them. All right. That's a great picture. I'm saving that and using that as my wall. Oh, there's a second one. Oh, I'm sorry. Now, is this some type of relay race that you have with the egg?
Yes,
with the pancake?
yeah, this was the pancake race.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I had to run to the end and then flip the pancake 3 times and then run back again.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm with you. I'm just trying to see what shoes you have on. Very sensible shoes, very smart shoes you have on there. Very good. I love it. I love these little activities. Now, is this teacher Joel as the lemon?
Yes, that is correct.
Nice. Was everybody laughing, like saying, "Oh, look at our teacher making"?
No, so we were racing against children,
right?
And I don't want to lose. I'm a winner.
Damn right.
I was just absolutely caning it, just went as fast as I could, just leaving them in the dirt. Like, yeah, eat shit.
In the beginning, it got a little close, and Joel's whacking him with the pan. You'd be like, "What the fuck out!" Whack, whack.
Misted them with the lemon juice.
Love it. Yes, the squirt, if you will. All right, full circle. What do you want to...
Let's get through this. I'm going to go to bed. We got Wrestling Satsuma no Kuni Monday, April 29th in Kagoshima. I'm going to skip right ahead to the 7th match, which is the Junior Tag Championship match. Bushi and Hiromu challenging Drilla and Clark. I am tempted to predict Bushi and Hiromu to win here, just so that Drilla and Clark can lose upwards. Okay,
I'm down with that. And correct me if I'm wrong, it does feel like Bushi and Hiromu are doing a lot together. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we see... a little, dare I say, upset. I'll go for that. I'm down with that.
The main event, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship with Doki challenging the champion show. And there was a very amusing segment at the start of the show yesterday where they did a bait and switch with a contract, and Dick Togo replaced the original match contract with one that said not IWGP on it, and was a match for a non-title match rather than a title match. So there's this dastardly show. He did it again. But it was quite funny because Sho was saying he was just complaining about the prospect of having a title match in Kagoshima, and he made a comment that was along the lines of, who would defend a IWGP title in a place like this? It would totally devalue it, which was very funny considering everything that's been going on in AEW this week. As much as I would like Doki to win, I don't think he will.
Yeah, I don't think
but there's no but. He's not going to win.
No.
I like him. I was going to say, but it should be a good match, but I'm not sure it will be a good match because this is show and I don't know what to expect.
Right.
No, I do know what to expect.
Funny faces.
Yeah, funny faces. So it could be funny.
Will it? Really?
Nah.
Yeah. I mean, Doki's, I think everyone's little, kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the band that you don't want to admit that you like, but you like. So, I mean, look, it's a main event spot. They're going to give it time. I'm sure there'll be bullshit, but like these two guys are bullshitters. It'll be all right, I guess, right? Tell me it'll be all right. Tell me everything will be all right.
It will be all right. And I'm just happy to see Doki getting a bit of a push. Even though I don't think he's going to win the title, it's nice to see him being taken seriously and getting opportunities like this. And I hope and expect him to be
Go ahead.
a feature, a factor
Ooh.
in Best of Super Juniors.
I hope so, too.
I don't think he is going to win it, but I could see him being in the mix.
Yep.
On the final block nights, yeah.
Yeah, he's got that spoilerism in him, in the sense of he may not win it, but he's going to cause some fucking chaos in the brackets and ruin everyone's pools and shit like that. So there you go. Nice one. All right, good. Any predictions tonight for Maple Leafs Bruins? Series is tied at 1. We had a big win the other night. Austin Matthews coming through with a big clutch goal and maybe one of his best games all around. Defensively, passing, goal scoring, the whole 9 yards. We're at home tonight. The return of William Nylander as well. Joel, your prediction, please.
I predict that the Maple Leafs are going to win by what is a score? I don't know what hockey scores are like. 2-0.
That's fine. We're going for a shutout. Oh, wow. We're gonna. All right. That I would be.
I was
shocked.
just going through because Liverpool have hilariously lost to Everton 2-0 this evening.
Beautiful.
Which is a large dent in their title credentials.
Yeah, fuck them. I would be shocked if we had a shutout. To be quite frank, I'll go with a 5-3 victory. 5-3. But yes, I love the fact that you are predicting a win. Again, a long series, but fingers crossed. All right. We want to wrap it up?
Yes. If you want to join the Discord and the Deli, $5 per month, not a one-off $5 donation.
Yeah.
Per month.
Yes.
It's got to be a rolling donation.
Yes.
Got to have that regular income coming in.
Has anyone done this yet?
Someone did with a receipt for what seems to be a one-off $5 donation.
Okay.
Does it say $5 a month? It may be $5 a month.
But we have...
It doesn't say it's $5 a month.
Okay.
So should I just let them in the Deli for a month and then boot them out?
Kick it. Well, we'll just make up some things, you know. Yeah. We're hearing rumors that... yeah, right. That's what we do. All right. Yeah, do that. I'm sorry. Continue on. I cut you off.
No, that's it. I'm tired.
You're done.
Bye.
All right. Hey, can I say redcircle.com/SuperJcast, buy a fucking t-shirt and follow editor Dan because he's in that awesome band Escape the Box, doing great things. He'll be headlining Glastonbury soon and Coachella. Big time. And then
the Arsenal. Let's go for the North London derby.
Yes.
Oh, and come on, Brighton and Forest, please take some points off Man City.
Yes. Let's go. We're big time supporters. Can I wanted to ask you real quick. What do you think of the Wrexham situation? Are you familiar with that?
No, what's going on with Wrexham?
They were like in like some fucking third tier league. The guy from Deadpool and the guy from It's Always Sunny bought the team. They won their league championship. They got promoted, and then they got promoted again. So they're up like 2 tiers. I just wanted to see if that was on your radar or not.
No, the only thing I can find here is Wrexham's Ollie Palmer in Ryan Reynolds' new film. Fans think Wrexham AFC star appears in Deadpool 3 trailer.
Well, there's a lot of cross promotion going on. Yes, that's a like,
real forbidden door.
Yeah, I think a lot of people here in the States dig it. Again, they have a Netflix series, I believe, that goes on and talks about the team and the history and them buying it and all that. I think it's in like season 3. I think it's where it's popular. All right, I just wanted to see if that was on your radar. It's not. All right, we're wrapping it up. I'm going to go watch the Leafs big win. Joel's going to go watch some squirt porn and go to bed.
A big wank.
Goodbye.
Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor.
And I'm Kelly.
And we are the co-hosts of Jumping Bomb Audio, the #1 show all about the world of Joshi Pro Wrestling. Episodes drop every other Monday where we discuss the biggest Joshi news, review shows, and preview the hottest upcoming Joshi action.
So whether you're a new fan or an old fan, we've got something here for you at Jumping Bomb Audio.
Check us out on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network.